you guys know, all of these florals, and there's a lot, were only $40, and we went like crazy to make sure we had a bunch to show you what you can do with Trader Joe's. Hello guys, hey, what's up? Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Reagan, and today I have a fantastic guest. If she'd love to introduce herself.
Yes, I am Billiann from Blooms Done Right. Thanks for having me.
Yes, and we are filming an amazing tutorial today of how to DIY a centerpiece for your family get-togethers, Thanksgiving, Galentine's, just a special date night you want to spruce it up. This is the go-to tutorial for how to make a beautiful centerpiece from Trader Joe's Florals. And yes, these are all Trader Joe's. It's kind of insane. So yeah, she is going to just explain a little bit about her business, what she does, and her information will be linked down below, guys. So please go check her out. If you're getting married in 2021, you can reach out to her because she is booked out for 2020. But yeah, take it away.
Cool. So again, I'm Billiann from Blooms Done Right, and I primarily do wedding florals. We do some pop-ups here and there, and I'll do some once-off arrangements for different events. But today I wanted to go ahead and give you guys a little bit of a tutorial just in case you had an event you wanted to DIY a centerpiece for, and you didn't necessarily want to go through a florist to do that. These are all flowers from Trader Joe's, which is awesome. And so I'm going to walk you through a little bit of my process, and I'm excited.
Yes, and just so you guys know, all of these florals, and there's a lot, were only $40, and we went like crazy to make sure we had a bunch to show you what you can do with Trader Joe's. So you can easily do this on a budget and get that Pinterest aesthetic that you were looking for.
Okay, so I went ahead and chose a pretty good variety of flowers. So I do want to mention that with Trader Joe's specifically, and any other like Whole Foods, maybe even Ralph's if they have a good floral section, they all have floral sections that are very, very seasonal. So for example, ranunculas are in season right now, but you're only going to be able to see them at Trader Joe's for like a month or two. It's not something that lasts super long. The same with like peonies. I did get a variety of sizes of flowers just to show you kind of what I like to choose when I'm doing a centerpiece. So one, we have focal flowers. Those are your like show-stopping beautiful flowers. We have a garden rose right here called a Sahara Sensation. We have spray roses. They're white majolica spray roses. That's another focal. And then I have some fillers. So I like to choose a lot of different kinds of fillers for my arrangements just because it adds a lot of interest. This right here is white wax flower. This is, you might recognize it, it's baby's breath. These are mini carnations. And then this is, I always butcher the name of this, it's a hypericum. And then I have a couple different types of eucalyptus for your greenery. So I just want you to keep in mind when you're arranging, you want to choose a focal flower, a filler, and greenery. And then I, just for fun, got the ranunculas because they're in season right now. And I like to call anything that's kind of small like this a flyer flower. So that's something that'll kind of fly above your arrangement, which I'll show you. And yeah, so I'll get started. I like to start with a couple focal flowers just because that is going to fill in your base. For my base, I chose this bowl. I get these just at my local wholesaler. You can honestly use any kind of small bowl for a small centerpiece if you'd like. I literally use dessert bowls from Target. You don't have to use some fancy like compote vase. You can if you want. But inside here I have, it's called chicken wire. You can get chicken wire on Amazon. Just type in floral chicken wire. We'll link that later on. And then I filled this most of the way with water. So the way this vessel works is it kind of has a lip, so it keeps the chicken wire in. If you use like a standard bowl, which is perfectly okay as well, it's not going to have that lip that keeps the chicken wire in. So I actually brought some floral tape to show you how I do it if I don't have a lip on my vessel. So I just stick it over the top, and then I take a little piece and I rip it off. and I put it horizontal across the top. You want to keep that as minimal as possible because obviously you don't want that showing. So I like to cut it at the end. And this tape is, we'll also link this, but it's Oasis waterproof tape. You want to make sure that where you are taping it is dry at first, but once it's on there, the water isn't going to make it come off. So I just wanted to show you that kind of as an example. I don't need it on this vessel, but you might on one that you use. So I like to start with some focal flowers right at the base so that I can start kind of covering up my mechanics. So I'm going to choose some of these larger flowers to start with. And what I did too, before we got started, I went through and I cut all the flowers and put them in water. You're gonna wanna strip any leaves that fall behind the water, below the water line. And then you're gonna wanna go through and like pull off any of the like not so pretty petals so that everything looks really pretty. So I'm just gonna take a bunch of spray roses here and I'm gonna stick them right in the middle to start to cover up what's going on. So one thing I like to do with roses, especially if you get them from a grocery store, so these are considered garden roses, but if you get some standard roses, you're going to notice that they're pretty closed. They might be kind of what you think of when you think of like grocery store roses. I like to grab the petals pretty gently, don't like grab them, but I like to push them back a little bit to kind of just open it up a little bit. You can also blow in the center and it starts to open up so that you don't have that like really closed grocery store flower look. You can also flip the rose and spin it a little bit to open it up, but you just want to be gentle in anything you do so that petals don't go flying all over the place. But I like to start to put larger flowers right at the base of my centerpiece so that I start to cover up that lip. And I'm going to go around and do that a few times. And I am trying to kind of put things at different levels. You don't want to just grab a bunch of roses and put them right at the base because you definitely want like some variety of movement so that when people come to your Galentine's event, they're like, whoa, who created this for you? And you're like, yeah, I did it. So that's fun. So for example, like these ones are kind of low. I'm gonna take this and stick it so that it comes out a little bit more from the base. And then once I have like a decent amount of the larger flowers, I'm gonna start filling in with filler. And things like wax flower and baby's breath are great to be able to cover up that base that you have going on in your centerpiece.
Hold back. I want you to know that you make me feel good, real good, feel good. You make me feel.
And then you can like, as you go, you can take things out, you can move things around. Just be careful to not like completely pull out your chicken wire if that's what you're using. So I'm gonna add in some carnations. I know carnations have a bad rap, but I love them. I think this color is just so cool. But one trick I will show you, like these are super closed, so you can grab the base of it and kind of like manhandle it a little bit and get those petals to start moving, and then you can actually push them back so that it like actually starts to look like a flower. Like that. And then I tend to take off like a lot of the little buds, but you can do the same thing. As long as the petals are sticking out a decent amount, you can do that with carnations. So another thing with Trader Joe's flowers is you're going to be pretty limited with your choices color-wise. I went today and they just happened to have a lot of blush and white and eucalyptus, so that's what I grabbed. It might not be the best idea to do this for something that like has a really strict color palette, just because like you can't really order ahead. I added in a ranuncula right there. I like to start putting some like flyer flowers in, just so I can kind of break up the whole rose situation that's happening. And you just want to keep having variety. You'll notice that I haven't put any greenery in. I like to wait until the end just so that it's not super greenery heavy. If you do want an arrangement that's full of a lot of greenery, you might want to start with that first. That's something to keep in mind. So I'm just going to keep going around and adding in things at different levels so that all my mechanics are covered and we start having a centerpiece. But you can kind of see right here, like it looks just like a lot of baby's breath happening. So I'm actually going to take out what I just put in there and I'm going to move it to this side because I don't really have any over here. And then you can add more focal flowers as you go. Obviously these are beautiful garden roses, so we're going to want to use them. I just like to start with them at the beginning because they're larger and they like give a lot of coverage for that base. But you can do some that are like popping up a little bit higher from your centerpiece. Then you want to go through and just like look at everything, make sure that your roses don't have any brown petals. You're obviously might not have time to do that if you're doing like 20 of these, but if you're only doing a few, then like definitely feel free to be picky with your flowers and feel free to take off petals, manhandle them. Us florists, we do that quite a bit, so. I'm gonna move this guy a little closer. He's kind of like a little bit of an outlier. Also, one thing that I like to do is I have a pet peeve about things being in like even numbers. You can just take off flowers if you want. If it feels like it's just very like just a lot of spray roses happening, just take off one. I like things in threes a lot better. One just little like design note you want to keep in mind is when you're doing things that are high, you don't want them to go in the same direction because they're going to look like arms. So you want to make sure that you have things going out at like different angles. So I'm just going around and making sure like I can't see any mechanics, which is like the chicken wire at the bottom. And then I'm going to start adding in some greenery to kind of like make everything a little bit larger. I want to make sure not to put that like right here so that it doesn't look like it's the little guy with arms drowning. And then with greenery too, like if I stick this in the arrangement, it's going to be really dense. But if you want something that's just a little more like airy, you can pull off a lot of those leaves. I'm almost done, just adding a few little pieces here and there. That's it. I'm getting very much like bridal shower vibes, baby shower vibes. This would be a perfect size for a small table or next to like a welcome sign or whatever. So I hope that was helpful.
Alright guys, thank you so much for watching and thank you so much for showing us how to make this freaking beautiful centerpiece. I am obsessed. We will have a blog post attached in the description. We will have Billiann's information, we will have her Instagram, her website, all that fun stuff. And yeah, if you guys like wedding content, photography content, anything like that, feel free to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up, and we will see you next time.